The beat goes on for one of the elite in the league, and they look to keep their foot on the gas against a club stuck in mud. USL Championship action features the only game in town tonight, with Louisville City squaring off with FC Tulsa. And good evening, everyone, with Chris Nurse. I'm David Gascon. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Chris, we take a peek at the Eastern Conference standings. Top to bottom, Louisville City is there, but they have some work to do.
Yeah, you see Louisville City trying to climb their way back to the top. Sitting in a good position right now with 2 games in hand against Tampa Bay Rowdies and Charleston Battery. Expect to see them competing for first positions shortly.
Well, on the other side of things, FC Tulsa 1-4-6. They're certainly laboring, but all is right with Louisville City. But according to their head coach Denny Cruz, they still have more to give.
Yeah, that 5-game unbeaten streak will give this team a lot of confidence in returning back tonight in front of their home fans. They're going to be looking forward to this game.
Yeah, they certainly are, and a great team that they have featured throughout the years that you look at and what they have come, what they have done, an elite squad. Sean Tosh, one of the players that we'll look at here tonight, is a Commonwealth Credit Union player presented tonight.
Yeah, outside of strikers, we normally talk about goal-scoring midfielders, but Tosh has labelled himself as a goal-scoring centre-back. Somehow he always seems to find himself on the score sheet, leading this team in goals scored, but also leading this team defensively. It's been a very stellar back four so far for this team so far this season.
FC Tulsa needs some help in the worst kind of way. In comes Philip Goodrum.
Yep, one of the best reinforcements you could probably get, one of the league's most potent strikers. You heard the head coach talk about his relentless work rate, his leadership, his movement, and more his clinical finishing inside of the box.
He did all kinds of damage in 2022. 21 goals, 6 assists. A lot went right from last season. How does he recapture that glory?
Yeah, he finds a way to score goals in different ways, and maybe a new challenge is what he needed this season. He hasn't been able to reciprocate the form he had last year, and maybe this fresh blood is what he needs to get himself back to scoring ways.
Well, you can only hope so, right? A brand new city, new kit, new teammates, and a new head coach. One of the bottom teams right now in the Eastern Conference. We'll see if Goodrum has any kind of impact on this club moving forward. Well, with all that being said, we got a game to be played. So coming up on the other side, we'll get you the starting 11s and first touch. It's Louisville City, FC Tulsa coming up next.
This is Aaron. Aaron is responsible for prepping the stadium for Louisville City game day. The grass is mowed, lines are painted, and the field is watered. Yeah, his team puts in a lot of work, transforming this into this. But weather can get in the way. So to ensure the crowd will be safe, they call Mark at WDRB for the official green light to play. Making the right call and keeping everyone safe. WDRB Weather, the source.
When the Thompsons first bought their house, all they saw was their dream home. They didn't yet know that with a home equity line of credit from Commonwealth Credit Union, it would be their keys to epic cannonballs and the chance to see the world. As years went by, it allowed them to empower the next generation and make happily ever after come true. Which begs the question, what could your home be doing for you? Let's find out together. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Watch WDRB Mornings and don't miss out on top stories.
We will make sure you are informed and in the know.
So wake up with WDRB for local news, weather, and traffic all morning long.
Don't get stuck in traffic.
I'll show you traffic alerts and the quickest commute routes to make sure you get to work on time.
And don't get caught in the rain because you weren't prepared.
I'll give you the weekly forecast and make sure you're ready for any severe weather threats all morning from 5 to 10.
When we win,
You win.
we're partnering with Wendy's to celebrate all Louisville City and racing wins with a free small Frosty.
No purchase necessary.
Simply go to any participating Louisville area Wendy's the day after a win. Show the club's social media posts featuring Wendy's and claim your free small Frosty.
Enjoy this Wendy's treat after every Louisville City and racing win.
And we are live here at Lynn Family Stadium. Louisville City scored off with FC Tulsa. One team in third place, the Eastern Conference. The other in 10th. Louisville City well in control of this all-time series matchup. And Chris, we turn forward to our starting laps presented by Breeze Airways.
Yeah, very interested to see if Louisville will line up in a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Given the lineup they've given us so far, it looks like a 4-3-3. Obviously, we're looking for Ownby tonight. He's been very, very good offensively for his team, getting himself on the score sheet in the last game, but he's known for delivering those crosses. It's going to be interesting to see if Tulsa can shut him down.
On the other side of things for FC Tulsa, right now 1-4-6. How did they get a W here tonight?
Yeah, well, they're going to be looking for the new number 10, Goodrum. They're going to be looking for his offensive output, but it's going to be very interesting. Blair Gavin spoke about his relentless work rate, which means that they like to defend for the front. They want a striker who can press defenders, put them under pressure, win the ball high up the field and turn it into goal-scoring opportunities. It's going to be interesting to see how they take on Louisville City defense.
Yeah, Michael Nelson in net, 1-4-5 this year. Save percentage under 70% at .692, and the goals against average at 141. But Oliver Zemla on the other end of things for Lou City, he has been dynamite. Undefeated, 4-0-2. And I guess for all intents and purposes, he's been clean night in and night out for Lou City.
Yeah, every championship team, the team competing for a championship, needs a strong goalkeeper between the sticks. But this defense has been stellar. They've only conceded 9 goals so far this season. Despite struggling a little bit offensively, not being able to win too many games of multiple goals, apart from the last game, obviously, against Miami FC. They've not been the most offensive team this season, but defensively they've been strong, and that's a good foundation when it comes to winning championships.
FC Tulsa moving from right to left on your screen. Lou City, the home squad, will be moving from left to right. It is a vibrant Wednesday night. Glad you could hang out with us. Temperatures at first touch, 86 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Chris, I can't complain, right? Middle of the week.
I mean, it may be a little bit hot, but this time of night, the sun starts to go down a little bit. The fans are going to be inside here creating a great atmosphere. They're back at their home stadium. You know, I think this is everything the players want.
Always the case, especially in this kind of environment. Here's Pearson. More bad touch there. Fans, when Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City has partnered with Wendy's to give you a free small Frosty if the boys in purple win. No purchase necessary. The offer is valid the following day after a win. Head to any participating Louisville area, Wendy's location to redeem.
It was interesting to hear Danny Cruz talk about his team and the struggles that they had in the first half against Miami FC to retain possession of the ball, and he wasn't pleased with it, and at half-time he was able to make some changes to the team, and they got a lot better in the second half. So it's going to be interesting to see how they start this game, if they're able to maintain possession of the ball for longer periods of time and create goal-scoring opportunities.
Yeah, it was one of those things, Chris, when you look 30,000 feet, you see the score 3-1. They did a lot of things right, but that includes what they did defensively. They didn't allow Miami FC to get a shot for 60 minutes worth of action. Yeah, and I think over the course of the game, they only had 2 shots on target. So, as we mentioned, defensively, they've been very, very strong. The problem's been in maintaining possession of the ball, creating goal-scoring opportunities, and being ruthless and converting those opportunities. Obviously, they've got a little bit better in the last game, but there's still room for progress in that aspect. And one of the elements that Danny Cruz had mentioned about this matchup here tonight with FC Tulsa, he had told us a couple days ago, hey, don't look at the record because this team has just had some bad luck, but they're better than what it looks like right now on paper. Yeah, and of course they're obviously a little bit better with the signing of Goodrum, and he falls into the game model of what Blair Gavin speaks about. They want to be aggressive and press from the front, and he brings that energy, he brings that tenacity, he brings that willingness to go and put defenders under pressure. And of course this is a good defensive line, but maybe they haven't come up against somebody with that kind of attributes yet. Ownby and Armour are getting tangled up there. No major intent, so Armour's asking to make sure there's no card coming his way. Ownby a couple goals so far this season. Tosh with 2 in the back line for Lou City. Maris places this one in just outside the 18, and it's going to be immediately removed by Goodrum. FC Tulsa trying to switch to the pitch, and they do. Chris, Lou City is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's a team that continues to grow and to build. What areas have you been pleasantly surprised by? There you saw the tenacity from Goodrum there, making diagonal runs in behind the defense. It's going to be something that they have to watch out throughout the course of his game. He peels off the shoulders and times his movement and his runs very good in behind. Tellefson been a staple. There's Tosh. We mentioned to open up the show. Sean making his 10th start in 10 matches. Lou City right now 5-2-2, good for 17 points. They're 3-1 here at Lynn Family Stadium. 2-1-1 on the road for Danny Cruz. They're not going to light a lot of people up, but they will certainly clamp you down, as Chris had mentioned. They do a lot of things defensively right, and that includes the man between the pipes. As they press here on the attack, Perez with some space gave it up, elected not to pull the trigger. Moves around waiting for that pass to come back. Over on the right-hand side, Tellefson didn't get the feed. Ownby has it now to Tellefson. A little bit of miscommunication there, but it's early.
Louisville City just doing a good job there of beating the press from Tulsa. Tulsa doing a good job of keeping themselves compact and trying to press the defensive line, but instead of trying to play through them, they went over the top and found success on the counter-attack there. I think only a mistimed touch stopped them creating a dangerous goal-scoring opportunity, but you see they have a variant way of breaking FC Tulsa's press.
Like many teams in USL Championship, you had that rough patch of activity, playing 3, 4, maybe even 5 matches during a 2-week span. Lou City having a week off. They beat Miami FC back on May the 13th. Not so much for FC Tulsa. They got dispatched by Memphis 901 on the 19th just a few days ago. Tosh with that foul. Goodrum looking for a lot more than a simple foul.
And sometimes those weeks off can sometimes be positive. It's the opportunity to get players healthy and back to full fitness. But if you're winning games, it kind of kills your momentum a little bit, because when you're winning, you want the games to keep coming thick and fast so you can keep getting those points, keep climbing the table. So they can kind of go counterproductive sometimes, or they can go in your favor depending on the injury situation.
And as a competitor, you get to stay away from practice. Match just underway. Glad you can be here with us on a Wednesday night from Lynn Family Stadium. Most recent outcome was a 2-2 draw back on the 7th of September.
Interesting to see Gibson back in the lineup tonight. I think last season, Danny Cruz described him as maybe the unsung hero of the squad. And he does a very good job of keeping possession of the ball, being that player between the link of the defense and the midfield. So I think that is how Danny Cruz has addressed what he had issues with in the first half of the last game, of not keeping possession of the ball and dictating the tempo of play, is to have Gibson in the center of park, somebody who's a little bit more responsive in possession, a little bit more tenacity in closing players down and winning the ball back.
As Chris had mentioned back in the lap, only a couple tweaks for Lou City tonight. Commonwealth Credit Union has been bettering lives in the communities they serve since 1951. To learn more, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com today. Gibson there, surrendered it. No real threats just yet. FC Tulsa, they have been brutal recently. Winless in the last 8 contests. It's the longest streak that they've been on without a victory since 2019. And Chris, winning is contagious, but unfortunately so is losing.
Yeah, winning is contagious, and whilst it may seem viable, you know, that they want to come here and go for the win, Louisville City away is one of the hardest places to pick up 3 points. So on the bigger scale of things, a point may not be a bad result for Tulsa tonight. Obviously, they're going after all 3, but you know, a point away against Louisville City is not a bad result at all.
And one of the things, I mean, the USL this season is a completely different animal because of the competition, and it feels like there's a pretty good balance of parity across the board.
Yeah, and I think this Tulsa team is obviously struggling for confidence. They've not had many wins this season, and that can take its toll on the organization, the fans, the players. You know, at some point they're going to want to turn that around and start to pick up momentum. A win tonight would be huge, because it would reinstill belief into these players to come away to one of the hardest places against one of the top teams for the past 2 seasons and pick up 3 points.
Still a long way to go, but man, if you get yourself in any kind of deep trouble, 3 points is not going to do a whole lot. You need to rip off 4 or 5 victories, or at least capture points.
Yeah, and you know, you have to take it at this stage 1 game at a time. They have to try and get that first win and build the momentum from there and reinstall the belief in the players and the fans.
Yeah, and Blair Gavin, the head coach of FC Tulsa, relatively somber mood over the last couple of days, just trying to get his troops right. You can only do so much, but you don't want to scoreboard watch, and as you mentioned, playing one game at a time.
And it's interesting, this Louisville City defense has had some changes also, because normally coaches try to keep as much chemistry and cohesion in defense as possible. They don't like to change it too much. But with players going off to national team camp, Sharpie's come in and actually had an integral part in that Miami FC win where they only allowed 2 shots on target. He was integral in that performance. So despite changes in the defense, the Steelers managed to remain very strong.
Yeah, that contest, Lou City outshot Miami FC 16-4, but 5-2 on target. I mean, it was just one of those matches where you never got the sense that Lou City was in trouble. They led 1-0. Kyle Murphy tied it on a penalty. It was 1-1 at the end of the first half, but they pushed forward a couple of goals in the second half to break free and then eventually win it by a count of 3-1. Nice move here. Sharpie had it for a moment. Maris could not control it. And FC Tulsa now trying to get this thing out of harm's way. You see that home run pass for Goodrum. It's typically what he does. DaCosta moving. Goodrum coming in. Philip Tread selling it to no avail. Breaking free to the outside. Harris. Wilson. That went down for Lou City. That shot didn't know its way through. Michael Nelson trying to get his first look of the night. We'll have a throw in for Lou City.
The referee wasn't buying the foul on Goodrum, and he stayed on the floor complaining while Louisville City regained possession of the ball and were on the counter-attack. Really, he just needs to get up and get on with the game there and help his team. The referee didn't give the decision. Get on with the game. There's not really much in that whatsoever, right? He tries to sell that to the referee, and the referee makes the right decision. I don't think that's a foul.
Get on with it. All of a sudden, it could cost your team. Almost indicative of how the season has gone so far for FC Tulsa. Not that that should have been a booking by a stretch of the imagination, but you wouldn't have been surprised had Lou City come back and scored moments after that.
Yeah, you know Louisville City can be very dangerous on the counter-attack. We spoke about Ombre briefly in the build-up to the show. He's a dangerous player in the attacking third, and when you're not concentrating, that's when he strikes best.
Well, Lou City, if you haven't heard, Eastern Conference champs. And a great battle with San Antonio, but they return a truckload of players here in 2023. 21, in fact, for Danny Cruz. So it doesn't feel like he has to do a lot of managing per se. But I got to imagine the way to motivate these guys. Just remember how close they were last year and now to get over the top.
Yeah, and it's always like a hangover sometimes that it takes a little while to get over at the start of the season. And sometimes players can get stale. You have to refresh things. Players can carry those feelings from the previous season and continue them into a new season. And sometimes you need to freshen things up. But what I like about Danny Cruz and Louisville City is that they always want to challenge to be #1 in the conference. They're not a team that just is content on making the playoffs. They want to win the regular season. They want to be the best team over the course of a 9-month-long season. They want to prove that they have the consistency and the ability to overcome adversity. And for me, the best team in the league is the one who's able to sustain being #1 after the 9-month season. And that's always his #1 objective before the playoffs.
And one of the elements of success for any team in USL Championship is to dominate at home and try to secure as many home playoff games as possible.
And of course, the fan attendance this season for Louisville City has been one of the key factors to that. One of the highest attendances and an increase from last season. The fans are the 12th man that really have a strong impact on this unit.
Dia with a long throw-in. It'll come back to him. Amadou bends this one away. Tellefson's attempt on that header. Not a lot of sauce, not a lot of accuracy on it.
Yeah, just tries to redirect it towards goal. The ball is a little bit behind him. Does well to get contact in it, but just not enough accuracy to test the goalkeeper, Nelson.
It'd be tough to, it had to put you on the spot, but it's tough to manage who is the best or who has the best environment in USL Championship, because you got Detroit, you got Pittsburgh, you got Lou City. There's a bunch of different spots that really get after you if you're the opposing team.
I think if you ask each fan group, they're all going to defend their own, right?
Right.
They're all going to defend their own.
Sacramento, of course. Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix is rabid. This shot never had a chance. It was going slicing wide by Amaris.
Nelson not really threatened from that attempt, but Louisville City just starting to probe a little bit more at the back four of Tulsa. Careless giveaway there in the middle of the park allows the opportunity, but just wide of the target.
Possession's been dominated by Lou City. The attempts, the activity.
And that's an improvement on the last game, right? We spoke briefly saying that that was something that Danny Cruz wanted to improve. He wasn't happy with the way they possessed the ball in the first half against Miami FC. And they started off very bright in that aspect so far tonight.
Goodrum trying to turn the corner against Tosh, and Tosh absorbs a clean shoulder check from Goodrum. It's one thing with Phillips' game, he's got good size and he can bully you if you allow him.
Yeah, he's a nuisance to defenders. He doesn't give you time on the ball. He puts his body in the way. You know, he makes life hard for you. He's not going to make a defender's night easy.
Zemla with the touch here. Oliver, 4 victories on the season in 6 matches, 4 clean sheets. He's got a goals against average of .33 and a save percentage at 91. I mean, those are video game like numbers. Owen be the intended target, but way out in front of him.
I think with Goodrum, it's just a case of that first goal. You know, with strikers, sometimes they just need that first goal, and then everything starts rolling from there. I wouldn't say.
Watch out here with the turnover. Outside the attempt, great stop by Nelson on a point-blank bid from Tellefson.
That's a fantastic save there from Nelson. His teammates owes him a beer after the game after that careless giveaway. Bailed his team out of trouble here to keep the scores deadlocked. Nice side foot strike there from Tellefson, but the keeper was equal to him, pushes out for a corner kick.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, Chris. He pushed out nice with that left foot and had a great beat on that bid from Tellefson. Here in the 16th minute working long, players going down inside the 18. Near the 6, in fact. Volleyed around. Who's got it? Lou City does. A harmless shot for a brief moment. That might have been offside, but nevertheless, Wilson Harris had to make a bid towards the target, and Nelson gobbles that up.
Yeah, I'd like to think that had that gone into the back of the net, the linesman would have put his flag up for offside, but warning signs here for this Tulsa defense. Caught for a couple of moments, falling asleep and giving the ball away carelessly from the back.
More pursuit. Harris goes down, trying to sell it to no avail. Back on the approach again for Lou City. They had numbers for a second. Tellefson again was the intended target. Pass broken up at the last second, but you continue to see Lou City working outside those angles.
Yeah, Tulsa doing a fairly good job of absorbing this pressure from Louisville City. They've not been able to get out of their half for a couple of minutes now. Some good chances created up front for Louisville City. They just need to weather this storm, maintain some possession, and start to build their own opportunities.
There's a lot of bend right now in FC Tulsa, but no break just yet. Corrales with a couple fine plays defensively to wipe out any bid by Lou City. Into the 18th minute. Shots right now are 6-0 in favor of Lou City. 2 of them on target, and 1 of them was a grade A scoring opportunity off the right foot of Tellefson.
Louisville City doing a good job of putting pressure on Tulsa, not allowing them time and space to build up from the back, and that's how they're able to regain possession of the ball. As you see there, the pressure, they don't win the ball, but they put enough pressure to cause a careless giveaway, and now they're back in possession.
Speaking of that, it's exactly what's been going on a lot. Maris has been active, Tellefson, Ownby, everyone's getting touches right now. Gonzalez tries to push this thing forward, pass is intercepted. Goodrum. Feels like it's been Goodrum and Nelson, and nobody else has joined the party just yet for FC Tulsa.
Yeah, Goodrum's doing a lot of running right now for his team, whether it's to close down the defensive midfielders or to put pressure on the center backs.
Ownby trying to apply. Feeder over the left-hand side. That one broken up at the last second as well. Concept has been sharp. Execution not as much as Gonzalez was out wide on the left-hand side.
you can just sense, unless Tulsa are able to sustain some meaningful possession shortly, the goal's coming for Louisville City.
Epps slides it over in the right wing. FC Tulsa came into this contest tonight a considerable underdog. Our friends in Las Vegas had them at plus 500 to win tonight. It is a massive underdog. Lou City minus 210 to get it done. Just a friendly reminder, fans, when Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City has partnered with Wendy's to give you a free small Frosty. If the boys in purple win, no purchase necessary, and the offer is valid the following day after a win. Head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's location to redeem today. Got plenty of fans here that want a Frosty. Something to chill you out after watching a match that's in 86-degree weather. But summer's here, Chris.
Exactly, the summer's here. The fans are out enjoying soccer on a Wednesday night. They couldn't ask for much more.
They want to make sure that they avoid an upset bug here tonight. And more importantly, capture 3 points. This bird had gone down. Chris, when you've been on the receiving end of teams that are applying a great deal of pressure like Lou City has, what kind of response teams that you played on provided?
Well, as we've seen here, the thing Tulsa have done well is they managed to weather the storm for the first 15 minutes, because when the temperature's like this, you can be very intense for the first 15 minutes, and then the pace of the game tends to slow down a little bit as the players kind of run out of gas and start to regain possession and try to find their legs. So it's been exactly that for the first 15 minutes. Louisville City have been very aggressive as the home team, putting the pressure on. But now you can see that dying down a little bit, and both teams now are starting to feel out the game a little bit more. I think Tulsa being able to not concede in the first 15 minutes was good and positive to allow them to gradually grow into the game. Had they conceded an early goal, I think it would have been a very long night.
And that can have a snowball effect, right? Either one way or the other.
Yeah, I think they have to be careful of Goodrum utilizing too much of his energy, because they want him to be fresh in the final third to have that offensive output. If he burns up all that energy chasing around and closing down defenders, and the way the ball's been turned over, he's going to be not that effective when they regain possession of the ball. So I think they have to be a little bit mindful of how he manages his energy. It's great that he's enthusiastic and has that relentless work ethic, but whether he can sustain that over the duration of the game is going to be very difficult.
It's one thing that Danny Cruz had mentioned to us a few days ago, what FC Tulsa does well, and you can't allow them to do, is to counter.
Yeah, especially now with the addition of offensive output like Goodrum, who's clinical in the final third, you know, one of the league's most lethal strikers. If you give him an opportunity, and this is where it can be very dangerous for Louisville City, is that whilst Tulsa haven't had much of the possession, all he needs is half a sight on goal or half an inch, and he'll make you pay for that.
Sharpie peels his back to Zemla, who has not been active at all this evening. No shots coming his way just yet. Question is, will they come at all? That's how potent the attack has been for Lou City. And for FC Tulsa, they want to establish some possession and pressure. Unby goes down. Let's see if this is going to result in a card. Looks like it's going to be the case against Colin Fernandez. Fernandez, not an ideal spot that he was in.
And this is what we spoke about. When Tulsa do win possession of the ball, they just need to sustain possession for a little bit longer, take a little bit more care. Here you see it's a giveaway that ends up in one of his teammates getting booked for a foul when they had good possession of the ball.
So Fernandez, a yellow card in the 23rd minute. Yellow card brought to you by World of Beer. Asking, talking about beer all night so far, Chris. Giving one to Nelson. The fans have had some, and now our first yellow card of the evening. Chipped up front for Ownby. Too far out in front of him, though. Good intent by Perez. Let's see if Manny gets it back. Tellefson. Robbed in the earlier stages. Gibson now.
I'd like to see Gibson just be a little bit more positive in possession there. He had 10, 15 yards ahead of him that he could have drived in and committed a defender. Does well to recycle the ball and go backwards and bring around to the other side, but I feel like he could have showed a little more urgency in possession there and gone forward.
Maris. They do a lot of good things, does Lou City. One of them is excel in the patience category. They don't rush. Owenby, a little bit of English, got it back. Owenby making his 8th start in 9 matches. Lou City so far, 5 victories, 4 of them have been clean sheets.
You can see Louisville City just getting a little bit frustrated with their possession. As you can see, that they sustained possession of the ball here for an extended period of time. But Tulsa have done a good job of getting bodies back behind the ball, staying compact and disciplined as a unit, and haven't really allowed Louisville City to penetrate them as much as they would have liked.
Tellison's poor feed intended for Owenby, and now the two players looking at each other, trying to get on the same page. Looks like it's working, at least for FC Tulsa's plan of attack. Trying to chalk this game up now. The match looked like it was just tilted on one end for Lou City. But as you mentioned, Chris, the surge has been stymied by FC Tulsa. And now it's a little bit of a ping pong fest.
Yeah, we haven't seen much from the creative players in this team. We haven't seen much from Epps, Joseph, or Pearson in terms of creativity from the midfield. We've seen, as we spoke about, Goodrum working hard, trying to create opportunities for himself. But we just haven't seen the players get the ball, get their foot on the ball, control the tempo of the game, create opportunities, quality opportunities for Goodrum to have goal-scoring chances.
Tellefson. Working out wide for Dia. Amadou had a great delivery early on this match on a corner kick. Ball was volleying around inside the 18, but no one for Lou City was able to muster a shot towards Nelson. Michael been a tough luck loser so far in net for FC Tulsa. Not a lot of goal support. Team itself has surrendered 15 on the campaign.
And it's interesting to also, if you look at the coaching staff and the head coaches of both of these teams, they were all players not so long ago.
Yeah.
Blair Gavin, Matthew Watson, Danny Cruz, all players who played at the highest level here in the US, competing against each other. Now, at still fairly young ages, they're able to pass their experiences on to the next generation of players and be leaders and role models and inspirations for these players.
Maris with some space, the chip, the lob, and that header just goes over the net. Tellefson twice now has had good looks from point blank distance.
This is a fantastic little chip over the top here. Tellefson just times his header wrong, ends up heading it over the crossbar, all alone in the box, onside. Terrible defending there from Tulsa. Great opportunity there for Louisville City to take the lead. He didn't get the timing wrong on that header, Tosh.
Goodrum had a step for a second, almost got to him. Wow, that was close.
Yeah, just a little bit more care in the pass. The opportunity was there, just overhit it a little bit straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
And that's part of the problem. When you don't possess as much, you don't have a good flow, you don't have good rhythm offensively, and that one's just off by a couple whiskers.
It will take a little bit of time. You know, the dream start is for Goodrum to hit the ground running, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time to build chemistry and cohesion with the team and for players to understand where you want the ball, where you're making your runs, your habits, to read your body language. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time for that stuff to kick in.
Tellefson, who's had a fantastic start. Potential for not 1, but 2 goals so far. Perez picked that thing off nicely. Perez, a jailbreak pass. Oh, Lord, it's 1-0 Lou City. A beautiful feed, and Jorge Gonzalez says, I'll do it myself. Home team on the board. They lead 1-0.
And we spoke about the pressure building and the goal coming. This is a terrible giveaway here from Corrales. And if you give a team like Louisville City that kind of opportunity, they're rightfully going to punish you. Here, good possession of the ball, gives it away with a careless pass. Perez cuts inside. Great, well-timed run. No mistake, into the back of the net. Jorge Gonzalez gives Louisville City the lead.
I mean, the goal was solid, but the dime, though, the feed from Perez was exquisite.
Yeah, really, Corrales, you're in your defensive third. It's really a careless giveaway. You know the offensive output. You know the quality of players you're up against. You know you have to be responsible in possession there. You have to find a teammate, or you have to play the ball higher up the field, and you're given a gem of a pass there to the opposition, and they punish you. As expected, you're playing against one of the top teams in the league. If you give them opportunities in that distance away from goal, they're going to make you pay for them.
Well, Gonzalez's goal, presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery, courtesy of Jorge Gonzalez and Manny Perez. That's 1-0 Lou City. I mean, it felt like you were mentioning it earlier, Chris. It was just inevitable that this was going to happen.
Yeah, and the 2 or 3 chances they had came off the back of turnovers from Tulsa, defensively or in the center of the park, and they were inviting that pressure and allowing it to build, and eventually somebody was going to make them pay. We saw Tellefson miss a chance earlier. We saw Gibson hit shots. So they were starting to build the momentum. Unfortunately, Tulsa did well to keep the clean sheet for the first 15 minutes, but they really did shoot themselves in the foot there with that giveaway.
Not that it's a mountain to climb, but it feels like it, the way that FC Tulsa and Lou City are going in opposite directions.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting now. That Tulsa have to dig deep. They have to respond to this. They have to find a way to get themselves back into this game. Now they're 1 goal behind. Sitting back's not going to cut it. They're going to have to be more offensive-minded now. They're going to have to rely on players in the team to take some responsibility and make something happen.
The numbers game is not on the side for FC Tulsa. They're winless in their last 11 affairs when conceding the first goal of the contest. It is not pretty. And for Lou City, with Gonzalez scoring tonight, that now makes it 8 different strikers for them that have tallied a goal in 2023.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're 30 minutes into the game now, and Tulsa have failed to register a shot on target in the opening third of the game. You can have an offensive striker like Goodrum, but if you can't create chances or sustain possession to get into the offensive third, you know, it's going to be a waste of his ability. They have to find a way to be better in their attacking organization.
Harris trying to craft one for Ownby. Not enough juice on it, though. So everything working for Lou City. They're creating chances, getting shots on target, ambitious on different approaches. Manny Perez with a fantastic feed. It's his first assist of the season. Jorge Gonzalez with a finisher, his first goal here in now 6 matches, and it's 1-0 in the 29th minute. Gonzalez's first goal will take down here, and Gibson the guilty party. I mean, you almost feel like Oliver Zemla, you could get him a beach chair and some sunscreen, just say, hey, take the rest of the night off.
I'm not sure FC Tulsa know what color shirt Zemla's wearing tonight, because they haven't been into the final third to really test him so far in this game.
Fans all smiles, as they should be. Welcome, fans, watching the game tonight on My TV 58, the official broadcast home for Lou City FC. Jorge Gonzalez, his first goal of the season in the 29th minute, the assist from Manny Perez. It's 1-0 Lou City, but it could be a lot more than that. Tellefson with a couple bids, one of them denied by Michael Nelson. Otherwise, this match would be a complete drubbing. But the night is young. It looks to be a yellow card. That's exactly the case against Sharpie.
8 shots for Louisville City so far in this first half to 0 from FC Tulsa.
It's funny you say it, because it feels like a lot more.
And the possession, to be fair, isn't that unfairly balanced. 52% in favor of Louisville City, 48% for FC Tulsa, but they've just not been able to do anything with the possession that they've had. Yeah. It's not been threatening whatsoever to Louisville City. Most of the passes where they kept possession has been in their defensive third between the defenders, and that's been their Achilles heel, because they've turned it over in areas where Louisville City have been able to be very threatening and punish them.
That one's stymied into the last second by Dia. I mean, you figure that back line for Lou City has not had any kind of pressure put on them. We mentioned Tosh in the open. Haven't talked a lot about Dia at all. Sharpie with the yellow card, but that's been pretty much it. Yosef on the corner here. Milo delivering, bending this one away. See if FC Tulsa can do anything with it, and Eric Bird nowhere around that possession, that pass.
Tulsa just not on the same page when they're in possession of the ball. You see they're a pass and nobody's making the run. They're not reading each other's body language or cues or have the chemistry at the moment in this opening half. I'm sure Blair Gavin and Matt Watson will address it at half time and make some technical changes or tactical changes in order to get themselves back in this game, but a lot left to be desired in this opening 35 minutes for FC Tulsa.
FC Tulsa winless in their last 11 when conceding the first goal of the match. This season they're 0-3-3. At least the one bright spot is they have picked up 3 points. Bad news is trailing, and it could be more. Ownby on a break. Ownby open, coming out. Nelson says no. Ownby trying to get better positioning on that bid. Gonzalez tried to enter it, but could not. Take a look at the sequence again, though, from Ownby.
Ownby does ever so well. If you just watch how he uses his body to roll the defender, then he's direct going straight to goal. Dribbles his right foot, actually shifts it onto his left foot and tries to dink the keeper. But Nelson makes a fantastic face block there. Not sure that's the most orthodox way to save the ball, but anything to keep it out the back of the net keeps his team in this game. But fantastic movement from Ownby there.
No, you're 6'3", you better use all of it. The corner here, open net for Gonzalez, just could not get a piece of it. The tip of the cap to Nelson, as you mentioned.
Good delivery there to the back post. Gonzalez just not able to guide it on target. Had to use his right foot. I think he puts that in the back of the net there, but he tries to go with his left foot. I think he has a case there. The defender gets his foot on it. Should have been a corner kick.
Well, that corner kick delivered by Vai-Fi. That has been a tidal wave for the home team so far at Lynn Family Stadium. Fans in attendance have been promptly rewarded. Two, that they want to make sure they get 3 points, and there's no doubt about it.
And also the game plan in their building. Here you see Tulsa sending the ball long up top there to Goodrum up against Tosh, and he's not going to win that aerial battle against Tosh. He times those headers so well.
Here's Goodrum using size and speed. Phillip, the new acquisition of Pearson, just can't get to it in time. But a look here on target. Zemla with his first stop of the night as it goes rolling in. Colin Fernandez would love to get that one back. Didn't hit that thing flush.
Not a bad effort there from Fernandez. The surface is a little bit slippy, and he just drills it along the floor through the defender's legs. That could have took a deflection, end up in the back of the net, but that's going to be how Tulsa are going to get themselves back into the game. They've got to start to put pressure on this defense and try to create goal-scoring opportunities.
First shot of the contest for FC Tulsa, and it occurs in the 38th minute. There are some droughts, and there is a drought. But they're only down 1-0, and still plenty of time to get back into this thing.
Yeah, while Louisville City may feel fairly comfortable in this opening half, they have to be careful. The lead's only by 1, and a set piece could create an opportunity for Tulsa to get themselves back into this game.
Epps tried winning it, could not. Nice job of settling it down by Tosh. Here's Ownby. Ownby getting stopped moments ago by Michael Nelson. Ownby tried chipping it over Nelson. Nelson getting the left eyebrow on it. But Nelson's been sharp.
Yeah, he's done very well in this opening half. He's made a few big saves that's kept the scoreline to just 1-0. Had he not come up with some saves that maybe he has no business making, this could well be 3 or 4-0 already.
There is Michael. Michael from Katy, Texas.
You can see the aggressive press from Louisville City. They're right up on the edge of the box, forcing the goalkeeper to go long.
Perez again. Been a very active first half for Perez. Man, he's been all over the ball.
These long balls forward are not very successful for Tulsa right now. They don't have the bodies or the personnel able of keeping in possession when they pump it long. They've got to find another way to break through this Louisville City defense.
Players colliding nearly at midfield. Ferry on one end of it. Gibson and Perez converging around him. Manny picking himself off the deck.
If Tulsa can get to halftime, the scoreline remaining as it is, I think there's opportunity for them to get back into this game in the second half. I think with just a 1-goal deficit, there's an opportunity to make changes, maybe personnel, maybe tactically how they're playing this game, find a different method of trying to break down this Louisville City defense, because so far they've not been successful trying to put the ball over the top. It's been too easy for Tosh there at the back to deal with those balls. But if they can get to halftime and make the necessary adjustments, I think there's an opportunity for them to come out second half a little bit stronger than they've started.
The last time they won a match was on the 25th of March. They beat Loudoun United 3-0. And think about that for a second. 3 of their 14 goals this season were scored in one match. Dia. Maris.
And when Louisville City take the lead against their teams, they're happy to keep possession of the ball and frustrate you. And this is what's happening now. They're in no urgency to go forward and really create more chances. They'll frustrate you, they'll keep possession, they'll make you chase from side to side. And then as you get tired, they'll pick holes in you and create opportunities for the likes of Ownby. This is why it's so key that when Tulsa do win back possession of the ball, they need to keep it for a little bit, because they're consuming a lot of energy chasing around right now. And as they get tired, this is when Louisville City is going to make them pay.
Yeah, there's certain teams that really excel in this arena. Good chase as Nelson comes out. We're going to watch out here for Ferries. He's a little cavalier with that possession. You think about it, a couple teams that come to my mind: Sacramento, San Antonio, of course Louis City, that once they get that lead, they almost break that moral compass that you have and force you to do things that are uncharacteristic.
Yeah, and we've spoken about how stellar this Louisville City defense is. They're very stingy. They don't give up many goals or opportunities or concede many goals. So when they take the lead, it's very difficult to beat them.
Maris. Ownby again. They got numbers too. 4-on-3. Chipped inside. Gonzalez nearly got to that one. Hauled down. I'll tell you what.
I think if Gonzalez goes to ground on the first tackle, I think he gets a penalty kick here. You see the defender slide across with his foot way up in the air. It looks more like a kung fu tackle more so than soccer. He does actually well to block the shot. But Gonzalez tries to sell the second one. This was the one that he maybe would have been able to sell a little bit. Defender actually does very well in that situation.
Yeah, how's Eric Bird coming in at the last second? Great play by Bird. 43rd minute. As you see the sun setting in the eyes of Michael Nelson. It's a picture-perfect scene here at Lynn Family Stadium. Nelson coming out. As Wilson Harris was on the move. Make sure you stay with us at the break. Chris and I will have first half highlights, stats. Take a look at some news and notes around USL Championship. Take a peek at a certain US Open Cup that's going on right now, the 108th edition of it. Been pretty fluid though, activity-wise. Not a lot of physicality, not a lot of chippiness at all. But for FC Tulsa, just one shot. They're going to change their fate in the second half. They'll have to do something to crack the code of the back line in Lou City. Sharpie.
Gibson there in the middle of the park, just doing a good job of being a center point and just keeping the ball moving. Allows the defenders to play it centrally, switch the point of attack.
Lou City, they got their first goal of the match here tonight in the 29th minute, and that man right there, Oliver Zemla, has been quiet.
Yeah, it's the kind of a game that goalkeepers like. Defenders are doing such a good job. He's not having to face too much action then. When they can stay organized and compact and disciplined, he's obviously a key part to that. He's the voice behind them, telling them where to move, how to shuffle, what's around them.
45th minute. It looks like we will have 4 minutes of stoppage time added here in this opening sequence. 4 minutes. Marcus Epps. Double team came immediately. Not a lot of room for FC Tulsa to navigate.
And that sums up Tulsa's first half. The first time they probably strung 4 or 5 passes together. Corrales hits a diagonal pass that goes out of play. Instead of being able to sustain possession and really try to get one last chance before half-time, they turn possession back over to Louisville City.
Push forward. Ownby's got a stat. There is Ownby. Ownby can't get to it.
I still think there's a chance in this game for Tulsa. I think there's been a continuation of Louisville City that we've seen so far this season, is that although they've created chances, they've not been clinical at all. Another careless giveaway in the center of the park there for FC Tulsa. Although Louisville City have created chances, they've not been clinical in the final third. They've created numerous chances. This game should be put to bed, and it's still 1-0. And this has been the Achilles heel, that they've not been able to put games to bed early enough in the game to be able to relax. Tulsa still in the game.
Watch out here on a quick restart for Epps. Epps takes the shot and just misses the corner.
And there was the chance for Tulsa to get themselves on level pegging just before half-time on the counter-attack.
Well, the opportunities come far and few, Chris, but you need to seize this moment.
Just caught Louisville City sleeping, pass straight through the heart of the field, straight through the heart of the team. Epps here just needs a little bit more composure to slide it into the corner, but interesting, that's the most threatening we've seen Epps so far in this half, and it's where he's drifted into field more centrally. It's going to be interesting to see if they adjust and find him more centrally in the second half and get somebody closer to Goodrum so that they can work together, because so far Goodrum's worked very much in this game in isolation.
First half stoppage time presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, with 4 minutes dwindling down, and Marcus Epps seconds ago and a golden opportunity to level this thing at 1-1, and that would have been a heartbreak for Lou City.
Yeah, and I think that could be the key to Tulsa getting themselves back in this game, is to get somebody closer to Goodrum. Somebody can combine with him. Right now he's very much isolated, and the one up top isn't really working for them. Maybe if they get 2 players up top and switch their formation, they're going to get more luck, not more luck, but more offensive output, be able to create more in the attacking third.
It was a fast restart, and Marcus Epps really
caught Louisville City sleeping at that moment.
Yeah,
and should have made them pay.
All kinds of areas to shoot at. Tried going to the left-hand side of Zemla and missed it. Let's see who takes this here. Ferry, Yosef, Milo gives it up on the left-hand side. This entrance again by Colin Fernandez, and just a sea of purple for Lou City.
It was a well-worked free kick, but just nobody with the aggression or timing to get themselves onto the end of that header. It was a good delivery in the box to be attacked, but Louisville City just too strong in the air.
Fernandez couldn't win it. It was kept possession for FC Tulsa. There's Ferry. One last gasp.
The best chance for FC Tulsa came through a ball played on the floor directly through the heart of this Louisville City defense.
Goodrum. Ooh, the chip nearly made the connection to Fernandez, but quickly Gonzalez clears this thing, and that'll do it for the first half. Well, the good news is for Lou City, a nearly flawless opening half of play. They got the goal of Jorge Gonzalez, and Lou City unbeaten their last 9. That includes 5 this season. They walk off the pitch, dominating fashion 1-0 over FC Tulsa.
I think the good news is for FC Tulsa is it can only get better in the second half also, because the first half wasn't great. I think after half-time they'll be able to make improvements, whether it's tactically, whether they change personnel. I think we're going to see more from Tulsa in this second half.
And for FC Tulsa, they need to make some adjustments in the worst kind of way. They're winless in their last 8 matches. Will they have a remedy? We'll find out. 45 minutes in the books here from Lynn Family Stadium. Lou City off the goal from Jorge Gonzalez, his first of the year. Manny Perez with the assist, and Lou City leads FC Tulsa by a score of 1-0.
Choose your character. Wes Sharpie, Rasmus Delofsen, Enoch Mushagalusa, Ray Serrano.
Vamos, Morados.
Watch Louisville City FC take on Indy 11, May 27th at 7 on My 58.
Monday morning and you look at the radar.
No matter your age,
Outbreak a severe storm.
feeling prepared feels good.
The rain is extreme in some places.
Guidance from those you trust gives you confidence in every situation to make the right decision.
Put your phone to WDRB.com and click on the live stream. If you have kids, help them understand and maybe
Staying safe and being prepared all starts with WDRB.
Please take tornado safety precautions.
When the Thompsons first bought their house, all they saw was their dream home. They didn't yet know that with a home equity line of credit from Commonwealth Credit Union, it would be their keys to epic cannonballs and the chance to see the world. As years went by, it allowed them to empower the next generation and make happily ever after come true. Which begs the question, what could your home be doing for you? Let's find out together. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
The fresh timer starts the minute a tomato gets picked. That's why at Kroger, we shorten the time from harvest to home. So no matter how you shop, you'll have more time to enjoy your fresh produce. Kroger, fresh for everyone. When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day and get personalized coupons sent straight to your phone. Save big today when you download the Kroger app. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At the break right now, Lynn Family Stadium on a picture-perfect Wednesday night with Chris Nurse and David Gascon. Lou City with the advantage right now over FC Tulsa. 1-0 is the score. Chris, it's been really smooth sailing so far for Lou City. 5-2-2 this year. That includes what they did a couple of weeks ago against Miami FC, a 3-1 victory, and they never looked back once they got the advantage for the second time.
Yeah, Miami FC always a tough opponent to play against, and to dominantly beat them 3-1 is a big result. You know, they didn't quite play as well as the coach would have liked in the first half, but they certainly picked up in the second half.
Good, listen, I want you to just enjoy the night, yeah? Play free, enjoy your football, battle for one another, start the game the right way, and you stick together. Make sure we come out of this with 3 points, and we do that by sticking together. Like I said, we keep it going. Yeah, let's go.
From the celestial Lynn Family Stadium is underway. Jimenez for Ombi. Ombi, Tillotson, deflects, put in by Dylan Mills. The former U of L player has his first goal for Louisville's professional club. FC and Louisville City. Winder, cutback ball set back, Omi! Brian Omi! A majestic curler to put Louisville City ahead. Villa glides by, penalty Louisville City. Louisville's penalty taking, Talisman delivers, sending McGuire the wrong way. Louisville 2 goals ahead.
First and foremost, atmosphere tonight was incredible. I mean, you could feel it the entire night. It made a difference.
The atmosphere here is incredible. It makes a difference. An absolute advantage to play here on a proper pitch and with these fans, and it was definitely a boost tonight.
I love the fans. Every time we play here, it's amazing, and I really thank the fans if they are here with me. But it's amazing. It's a really good feeling and atmosphere.
They'll lift your spirits even when you get on a break, and it's not just cheering on goals and stuff like that, but if we connect the right pass in the midfield, you can hear it. You can hear the energy lift, and that gives us all a boost.
And again, the atmosphere tonight pushed the players along as they were fatiguing, and it's an incredible place to play, and the guys feel that.
The dominance does continue with Lou City, and the fans, Chris, have been on the receiving end of all kinds of joy. You just look at the record, and then the attendance goes up with it.
Yeah, and I think this is a testament to the growth of the league. 10,000 attendance, winning is contagious. The fans love the atmosphere, the fans love the success, the fans love the winning. They're getting behind the club, they're getting behind the players, they're getting behind the culture.
Yeah, it certainly is the case. You see the record so far this season, and that attendance winning everyone in USL Championship. When we come back on the other side, we'll look at some highlights, some stats, and a whole lot more. It hasn't been all smiles for FC Tulsa. They need a response in the worst kind of way. Can they do it? 1-0, Lou City.
Cuts inside. Great, well-timed run. No mistake, into the back of the net. Jorge Gonzalez gives Louisville City the lead.
The United Soccer League is proud to support the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline because everyone needs support.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Halftime presented by Breeze Airways. Nice, new, and nonstop. That's the Breeze way. You see the score, Lou City right now over FC Tulsa, 1-0. Jorge Gonzalez, his first goal of the season. Manny Perez, his first helper of the campaign. And Chris, it was an impressive start for Lou City as they really took it to FC Tulsa. But we go away from this match. Let's look around the league, shall we? Super League that's set up that was just announced just a few days ago. In fact, Nate Steinwasser, I'll tell you this much, for Detroit, they haven't had a lot to brag about, but that dude in net is the guy.
Yeah, for goalkeepers to get an assist is always a rare occasion, but doing phenomenal. Player of the week, keep that momentum going.
And the U.S. Open Cup continues right now with the round of 16. Pittsburgh right now, many people did not think they'd be with where they're at right now, but Columbus Crew has the advantage over them in the 70th minute, 1-0 there. Birmingham, Charlotte FC early on stages. As we take a look now at the upcoming USL schedule, Friday kicks things off, and then we dip into the weekend with Saturday and Sunday.
Of course, Indy will be keeping their eyes on Tampa Bay Rowdies and Charleston as they try to climb on top of them in the table and make up for those games in hand that they have. 4 points behind right now.
Yeah, that was exactly going to say that. But Las Vegas Lights, they labored. They were quick and slow to get out of the gate. Miami was one of those other teams as well. Just didn't have a lot of traction. Tampa Bay, the other thing too, you think about Tampa Bay, one of the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference last year. Offensively, they need to wake up. Upcoming ESPN schedule, you'll see what's on the deuce right around the corner.
There we see Louisville City vs Detroit City. That's going to be an exciting matchup. 2 phenomenal keepers in the sticks at both ends.
Yeah, Zemla versus Steinwash in that matchup. Colorado Springs will be curious to see how everything pans out when it's all said and done, but that's way too far ahead. We don't want to age us anytime soon. That's for August the 9th. Youngins right now, all smiles. Marcus Epps just inches away from tying this matchup during stoppage time. FC Tulsa searching for an equalizer. We'll find out if they can get one. We'll get some first half highlights and stats right around in the corner.
Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps control blood sugar levels? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensondental.com. Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps lower your risk of heart attack? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensondental.com.
Well, they say the grass is greener there, but ours is dreamy blue. And there's no place I would rather be than Kentucky with you.
At the break right now, 45 minutes still to come. Lou City looking to pour it on in an exceptional start. 1-0 over FC Tulsa with Chris Nurse. I'm David Gascon. What a beautiful setting here at Lynn Family Stadium. Chris, let's dip into the first half highlights, shall we? 29th minute of action. Lou City got off to an exceptional start, but you think about one surge came with another, but the giveaways from FC Tulsa surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, we look at the defender. If you see the defender's position in there, has no idea when Gonzalez is behind him, making the run off the back of his shoulder, off the blindside defender. Great pass here from Perez. Defenders in La La Land. Fantastic finish, 1-0.
Yeah, and for Gonzalez, his first goal of the season, Manny Perez with the helper. And so Gonzalez, the lucky recipient. Match stats, I don't know if it's indicative of how good Lou City is, But what does this tell you?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about the possession that FC Tulsa had, and it was fairly balanced, but unfortunately the majority of their possession was in their defensive third with their defenders, and they gave away possession in dangerous areas where Louisville City were able to collect the ball and create goal-scoring chances. I think one area Danny Cruz will want to see is be more clinical in the final third. The 11 shots that they've had, how many can they create actual goals from? They've scored one. To really go and maximize their potential, they're going to need to be more ruthless, more clinical, more killer instinct in the final third.
All right, so the teams will change sides. On that note, if you are Blair Gavin and FC Tulsa, what can you do to change the tide?
I think, unfortunately, he would probably need to be pretty ruthless with his team at half-time, and despite winning the game 1-0, he'd probably have to let them know it's not good enough. You know, the chances they're creating, they need to convert. They've given up an opportunity late in that first half where they should have actually been 1-1, and despite the control they've had, they should be going in at half-time level pegging if Epps was able to convert that opportunity. So I think he shouldn't have let them, I don't believe he would have let them get comfortable. He would have probably told them it's not good enough, they need to do better. Be more clinical, be more ruthless, don't fall asleep in those final moments of the half.
I'll tell you what, Michael Nelson has been a big bright spot for FC Tulsa. He was under siege in that opening half of action, and if it wasn't for him, this would be a wide margin for Lou City.
Yeah, Nelson has come up big in that first half when his team needed him most. I think there's just some flagging arms here, nothing intentional. Just palms Mahrez's face.
Little eye gouge. Shout out to Ric Flair.
Gives Mahrez the face palm there. Finger in his eyeball.
Some old WWE move, Chris. Well, the sun's setting on a comfortable Wednesday night. FC Tulsa winless in their last 8. 0-3-3 when they concede the opening goal. Lou City.
They started similar. You see they had a possession there from a free kick, tried to hit a long diagonal pass and give possession straight back to Louisville City. I think they just need to be a little bit more patient and methodical in the build-up. They have good players. They're a good team. I think they just lack a little bit of belief in themselves right now with the lack of wins, and it's showing a little bit in the players on the field.
Looked like Tosh delivered an elbow to the back of the head of Goodrum, who gets up now, visibly upset. Tosh looking to wind up, takes a shot. That went off the crossbar. Well, he was down for a good minute or two, rose to the occasion. An unfortunate woodwork there.
Great connection there between Fernandez and Goodrum, but there's the danger. 20 yards out, strikes a rocket, bounces off the crossbar, and that's an early let-off there for Louisville City. Great opportunity there for Tulsa to come out flying out of the blocks after half-time and get themselves back into this game. That's positive for Goodrum. You know, he wants to start getting chances, build his confidence, and I think that is a shift in momentum. You know, that's the most dangerous we've seen him towards goal in this game so far. Hopefully he can continue to build on that.
Not that anyone was falling asleep on Goodrum, but with him being down for such a decent amount of time, it seemed like everyone for Lou City forgot where number 10 was.
Yeah, and I think that's them getting a little bit comfortable and a little bit switching off a little bit. We spoke about Goodrum being a player, you give one chance, it can be one goal. Don't fall asleep, don't give him the opportunity to get shots off. And that's what happened early in the second half, and they're lucky to still be 1-0 ahead.
Zelma did not get the piece of that. That thing hit the crossbar and stayed out. Here's Fernandez. Ownby trying to push forward. No numbers though, 3-on-5. Waiting out wide. Long way, Gonzalez should have had a second.
And the lack of ruthlessness in the final third continues for Louisville City. While it would be good, Danny Cruz will be happy that they're creating the chances, the lack of killer instinct to make them pay is what's worrying so far. That's an easy chance. He should score that. It's harder to miss that than to score. Goes with his left foot on the half bounce. Maybe it's a little bit difficult, but that should be a goal. That should be a goal. We're disappointed not to get a second of the night there.
Gonzalez has an opportunity tonight to feast.
But you know, the good thing for Louisville City, they're creating the chances. Just they're not converting the chances. You're more concerned when they're not creating chances. That's when you start to worry more.
Sure.
They're just lacking the instinct lacking the clinicality to be ruthless and finish those chances. But that's a huge let off there for FC Tulsa. They almost just had a goal that got themselves back in this game, and then they've given up an opportunity like that so quickly after.
Yeah, I was going to say the one thing with Lou City so far is the ball hasn't been stagnant on one side of the pitch. Sean Tosh been busy tonight. Not a lot of gaping holes in Lou City's game, but there have been moments for FC Tulsa. This hasn't been a wire-to-wire beatdown, but FC Tulsa, although the chances have been far and few, Marcus Epps during stoppage time of the opening half had a quality chance at target and just missed.
Yeah, and again, the first half, it took 37 minutes for Tulsa to get their first shot, and it took them less than 3 minutes in the second half.
Oh, Owenby's got Maris over the left-hand side, wide open net. Lou City in control, 2-0. And they're calling it offside.
I figured there have to be some call because the goalkeeper didn't make any effort to try and stop the ball from going in the back of the net. He stopped playing before the ball was even struck, so I think the linesman had the flag up nice and early on that occasion.
Getting us all excited for a quick moment, Chris.
But there was players wide open in the box, no defender anywhere near them. That's always concerning, even if it is onside. Somebody needs to track here, the runner here from midfield. You see Mares diagonal run into the box. Nobody's tracking him. Nobody's anywhere near close to him. Had it not been offside, it's an easy finish.
Far side official making sure to get that right. So there is, at times, a slight hesitation in the call. And better to err on the side of caution than be quick with the flag. Anyways, you saw on that replay, the luxury that we have with video review, we can get it right. This one looks to be fairly close to being offside. Official not indicating Zemla there on the touch.
Yeah, I think there's opportunities there. If you see that ball is a little bit overhit, but when Epps makes that run in between the centre backs or in between the fullback and the centre back, you see he has the ability to get in behind there and get onto those balls.
Bird on the chip.
Just lacking quality in the delivery. You see Epps at the far post with his hand up asking for the ball. Bird just unable to provide any quality service on that one.
52nd minute. Lou City this year at home, 3 up, 1 down. FC Tulsa have not gotten out of the starting blocks yet. 0-2-3 on the road this year.
They need to get out the starting block soon because as the season goes on, it only gets harder and harder. The games come thicker and faster, and you know you get further away from the playoffs. Right now, they're just 2 points outside of the playoffs. One win, and they're in a good place for the postseason. But that win needs to come soon because if they allow this slip to continue, as I said, it affects the momentum of the players, it affects the confidence, and it's very difficult to break that.
Match after this one, they'll be at Monterey Bay FC. That's on May the 31st. So they'll go to the West Coast. Lou City will have a date with Indy 11, and that's in a couple days from now. So obviously important to capture 3 points tonight. But Chris, you would love to, if you're Danny Cruz, to rest your regulars, give them a night off once we hit 60 or 65 minutes.
Yeah, I think so, but I think you also want them to play. You also want them to continue building that match fitness and that cohesion. And as I said, they've not been the clinical as they could be in the final third. I think if they put the game to bed 3-4-0, then that gives them the opportunity. But with the game still being very tight with the 1-goal margin, I don't think he can afford that luxury to take his starters out and give them a break as yet.
No doubt. One bad fortune can change the fate of both these clubs tonight. Here's Gonzalez. Dia. A couple guys not starting tonight. One of them, Cameron Lancaster. Watch out, this bid from Harris. Blocked on the way through. Tete. Oh, a chance there on the doorstep was Harris, and Harris probably missed that thing by an inch.
I think it's becoming an dangerous area of concern, those balls being delivered there from the right-hand side by Omri. We spoke about his danger in his deliveries there from the box. Somebody's got to do a better job. Probably Armour has to do a better job of getting closer to him and stopping those crosses into the box. You don't want to keep defending him because as you can see, there's 2 opportunities now where Louisville City should have got themselves on the score sheet with little tap-ins in front of goal. Armour's got to do a better job of closing down Ombi and stop him delivering those dangerous balls into the box.
5-5 corner kick. That one punched away by Nelson. Marcus Sepps. Last time these two teams got together at Lynn Family Stadium, dating back on May the 28th. Almost a year ago to the date, Lou City drubbed FC Tulsa 4-1 in that contest.
You're looking at one of the midfield maestros of the USL Championship there on the bed, Richie Ryan. There's a player who could pick a pass and keep possession. He was definitely one of them. And Matt Watson was also such a good midfielder, tenacious, good in possession, creating goal scoring opportunities, box to box.
Hey, Chris, the element that you brought up earlier was with the technical staffs for both of these clubs. And these coaches, some of them are just recently removed from their playing days. How much does that play into the emotion of how they instruct and how they guide their teams?
I think there's nothing better than being able to guide your team by being able to put yourself in their shoes and being empathetic leader. And I think that's what they have in the staff. Of course, it's going to take time. This is a new staff. It's a new team that's put together. It's going to take time to gel and for them to put their stamp onto the team. But I don't see a better staff than Blair Gavin, Matt Watson, and Richie Ryan when it comes to teaching, having a game model, style of play. You know, they're three players that tick all of those boxes, and I think over time they'll be good.
Diaz searching again, that one broken up. Yeah, I think the other component too, and when you mentioned being empathetic about it, is they're relatable.
Yeah, and if you look at style of play, Matthew Watson and Richie Ryan, possession-based players. Like, you know, they're going to turn this team into a very good possession ball-playing team at some point in time. But it takes time. You know, sometimes we expect change imminently, and to really build a strong title-competing team, it takes time to develop those players. It takes time to recruit those players and build the squad that you really want. And you know, I have a lot of trust and faith that over time they're going to develop that here.
Dia. Harris near the 6. But you know, the day and age we live in, Chris, it's like we want instant satisfaction, instant gratification. We need results right away.
Yeah, I think that the ownership group will be smart enough to believe in those three individuals. You know, it takes time. They're the right people, the good people, good leaders. I think inevitably they'll get it right. And sometimes riding that wave of, you know, when things aren't going your way. But remember, they're just 2 points off the playoffs. Things can turn around very quickly for them. We're only a third of the way through the season.
Harris with a nice move. The last second broken up by Fernandez. Fernandez doesn't make a touch on that. It's probably 2-0. Good effort there from Epps. He called for the foul.
It's just decision there. You know, is that the right pass to make in that situation? Maybe it's a pass to try and find the feet of Goodrum and continue to run and connect with him. The lofted ball in the air, bounces, skids off the surface.
'58th minute. Been grounded and controlled by Lou City. Shots are 13-3 in favor of Lou City. 4-1 on target. Possession, a slight advantage to FC Tulsa, but can't read a whole lot into that. Got a couple moments, but really haven't been dangerous at all. Owen-B.
Louisville City still cannot afford to get complacent with just this one goal lead.
A little bit of contact, and felt like the first foul in forever as Tellefson the guilty side. Elijah Winder coming into the affair. First substitution of the night for either side as Winder will come in. Substitution brought to you by Fortna. coming in the 60th minute.
See Winder just slotting in there in the center of the park for Louisville City, just bringing a little bit of fresh energy in there.
Winder been with the organization since 2020, a local guy. And always nice to have a player that's through your farm system. There's Winder.
You can already see what he brings to the squad. Active, closing those players down, putting them under pressure, intercepting the ball.
Epps here trying to chase it down. Successfully he does. Pearson
does well to keep that ball in play. Epps. Still think he's been most threatening in this game when he's drifted inside.
Bird, a little give and go action. Bird, and there's Zemla breaking that up. Good him around.
Epps hasn't really been able to get down the outside on the left-hand flank there and deliver any balls with his right foot. Been able to receive on his right foot and cut in and get any shots off or any through passes. I think when he's been able to make runs in behind this Louisville City defense, he's looked dangerous, but that's been not the case too many occasions where those balls have been played forward to him.
Been that kind of a night too for FC Tulsa. Again, the last time they won a match against Loudoun United was on March the 25th. A couple more substitutions. These will be for FC Tulsa. Substitutions brought to you by Fortna. First two of the night for FC Tulsa. A little bit of a surprise given the circumstances, but nevertheless, Blair Gavin now electing to go to his bench. Rucci coming in, 62nd minute. Malou the same. See if it has any kind of impact on the road squad. Still only 1-0. Curious to see what Dia on a interesting challenge there.
Referee doesn't seem to have any issues with that tackle. Seemed a little bit aggressive and slightly late, if you ask me. Goes to ground from a distance, slides his way in, does get a lot of the ball, but there's a lot of the attacker's legs that get caught there also. I think it's Joseph there on the receiving end of that one. I think the referees call that excessive force. I would actually say it's a good tackle, but in today's game, that would be deemed as excessive force.
Different day and age, Chris. Different day and age. So one change for Lou City, a couple of them for FC Tulsa. Malou came in just moments ago, and Rucci.
Nice idea there from Epps. Ball around the corner, but defender did well to read it and get himself in front.
Winder was held up for a brief moment. Here's Ownby. No tweaks at all for Lou City at the end of the first half, and the one change here in the second. Wanting to capture the 3 points. Get right back on the horse over the weekend on the 27th against India 11, so they'll be on the road. Keep in mind the full 11 days off after the dispatched Miami FC.
Thought Tulsa had a good opportunity to counter-attack just then. They had good possession of the ball driving forward, and they just slowed down and played backwards and allowed Louis to get 10, 11 players back behind the ball, which makes it so much more difficult to break down rather than just keep going against the back five.
Ownby almost misplayed that. Might have been too hot to handle by Tellefson, and this will result in a throw-in for Lou City. Lou City FC will put the world's game on display at Lynn Family Stadium later this summer when hosting its first ever international friendly. Lou City will welcome Germany's FC Kaiserslautern to town on Wednesday, June 21st. Tickets on sale and on demand right now. With more information, go to loucity.com today.
Fernandez there trying to find Epps, making that run in between the centre back and the full back. It's a good idea. Had the pass been a little bit better, there's definitely opportunities there.
Ownby creating some space, looking for that left foot to pull the trigger to his right, and you just see a sea of white converging on him immediately. Harris had it for a moment. Again, the bid, Ownby was there, Harris as well.
Good defending in the end there from Tete, but again, we're seeing on-board of deliveries into the box there from the right-hand side of the field.
Tete and Ownby getting together, but there was no ill will on one end. And to set things up again for another Wi-Fi corner kick for Lou City. There have been softer moments for Lou City right now in the second half than what felt like an immediate surge from them the first 20 to 25 minutes to start the affair.
Looks like this might be the end of Gibson's night here. He's grabbing the back of his thigh, and we often know what that means. Like he felt something in his hamstring, and you don't shake off hamstring strains. I think he'll be lining up for a substitution here.
Never pleasant. It doesn't matter, right? Hamstring, quad, groin, calf.
Hamstring's the worst one because you can still run, but you just can't sprint. You can't. It's just a very frustrating, niggling injury that you know the second you feel it, it's 2 to 3 weeks out minimum, sometimes longer.
So we'll see substitution-wise what happens with Gibson. Look at Jorge Gonzalez. Gonzalez has had a spirited night. Lucky recipient on a Manny Perez feed, scoring his first goal of the season, the 29th minute. Should have had a second one moments ago. And more substitutions brought to you by Fortna. Lucia will come in right now. Del Piccolo coming in as well. So 2 come in and 2 are removed. That one on the goal line. Nelson is there. So Gonzalez, his night's over with. He'll walk off the pitch with a lone marker.
The goal scoring centre back, Tosh, getting his head onto that delivery again, almost getting himself on the score sheet. 22 minutes to go. Let's see if we see some Musha Galusha magic. We know that he's renowned for coming into games and having a positive impact.
You talk about guys that are a thorn in the side of the opposition. Musha Galusha is one of those guys. He has a goal so far this year and 1 helper. Now making his 8th appearance of the season. He started in 6 of them. Winder. We had Tellefson on the right-hand side, just could not get it to him. Dia. 70th minute. FC Tulsa has done a lot of chasing tonight. This one walking the boundary somehow stayed in. Wishagalusa. We had Harris that was available for a second. Winder, ooh, tried to sneak it over to Ownby, picked off at the last second. Goodrum, no numbers though. Phillip trying to do something with Epps. Those two are on a wave of purple. No chance to create there.
No forward movement there for Epps to make a pass or opportunity to get a shot off, and they've ended up on the edge of the box, getting all the way back to the halfway line now.
Got to be a lonely feeling when you're down a goal. You don't have any kind of help the other way. Joseph. Looks like we'll have 2 more substitutions in a moment.
Yeah, I haven't seen Gibson re-enter the field as yet.
Joseph delivering high that corner. Not a real plan there for FC Tulsa. And Zemla will just let this thing cross the goal line. That'll be a goal kick. Couple substitutions for FC Tulsa, excuse me. Dario Suarez. Moses Dyer coming into the fray. Substitutions brought to you by Fortna. While we have a brief moment, Louisville 2023 ticket packages are available right now. Lou City's next home match. It's coming up June 10th at 8 p.m. Bring your family and friends to Lynn Family Stadium. And the boys in purple face Memphis 901 FC. Tickets are available at loucity.com/tickets. Good luck getting tickets.
Gibson did actually come out of the game there earlier with that hamstring injury. Replaced in the center of the park.
Zemla making a couple stops tonight, but not a lot to write home about. It's been fairly clean for Lou City, and FC Tulsa continue to make changes. Blair Gavin going to his reserves on more than one occasion, 4 times so far. Some real estate over here on the right-hand side. Gave that one up for a brief moment. Dyer's first bid went off a foot. Tellefson there now trying to change the shape for Lou City.
The build-up play was actually good there for FC Tulsa. They kept the ball on the floor, 4 or 5 passes, worked the ball from one side of the field to the other, created a good opportunity in a 1v1 situation. They're just unable to get a shot off to test the goalkeeper, but the build-up play was much better there. A change from the long diagonal passes that we see that was not being successful earlier in the game. They actually, when they get the ball down and play and move it quickly, they've been effective in trying to break down that Louisville City defensive line.
Feels like forever since we've had that kind of a build-up from FC Tulsa.
I think that the changes that have come in obviously had an impact in how they're building up and playing the game. You have that benefit when you've been on the bench and been able to observe maybe the first 70 minutes of the game. You have a little bit more insight into where you feel like you can break down the opponents. And as we spoke earlier, I feel like if they're able to make those runs in behind and find the runners with passes, penetrating passes on the floor, that's where they can be successful, because both Tosh and Sharpie are exceptionally strong in the air. But I feel that there's opportunity if they can get the timing right of those runs.
I can imagine with watching everything unfold right in front of you, there's some players for FC Tulsa who's chomping at the bit to get in there from Blair Gavin. Looks like we'll have one more change for FC Tulsa in a few moments. FC Tulsa winless in their last 8 matches, longest streak they've been on since 2019. Long time ago. Suarez doing a good job of maintaining his footing. Josef. Milo with some open space, gave that ball up. Not sure why Dyer couldn't handle it.
I would have liked to see Josef drive inside and try to get the shot off with his left foot here. The space was just opening up for him to keep driving forward. You could see he didn't feel confident to use his left foot, but sometimes you just have to swing and see what happens. In a game like this where you're chasing it, you've got to put them under pressure.
Yeah.
Have a go.
I mean, not even a threat.
Yeah, he ends up trying to make a pass that's not on turnover possession. You'd rather try and have a shot at the goalkeeper and see if you can make something positive happen.
Weiner, fine job with his size. Galusa trying to split a couple defenders, and Malou calling for the foul. Obviously not too thrilled about it.
Frustrated with the referee's decision there against Matiti. In favor of Matiti against Malou.
Ferry will depart. Worth coming in. No substitution brought to you by Fortna. Del Piccolo gave that one potentially over pursuit on that attack. Here comes FC Tulsa. Looking to run with some numbers here. Dyer, open real estate. Want to get it back. He does. Dyer splitting 2 defenders. Hand goes up. Bird shoots and he scores! A nightmare right now for Lou City. Eric Bird on his wallet. All smiles, and we are level here in the 77th minute. 1-up. Wow.
And this could be the confidence booster that FC Tulsa need, but I want you to look at the movement of Goodrum here. Sprinting forward, trying to make the defenders move back. Then he opens up his run again. Here you see as the composure keeps them in possession of the ball, does well here to keep it alive. The ball bounces out loose in the box. Great left foot strike on goal, gives his team the equalizer in a game when they needed that confidence boost. Now can they go on from here and keep themselves in this game?
Well, they barely had a heartbeat for the entire match, and there were moments, only a couple that you can count on one hand. But Eric Bird capitalizes on a mistake. Bird, the left foot, past Zemla, and lo and behold, Chris, we got a brand new affair.
Yeah, and we spoke about Josef earlier, cutting inside and using his left foot. Bird is right-footed, so his left foot is not his strong foot, but he does a good job of getting his head over the ball, keeping it low, gets good connection with it, and gets his team back into the game. This could be massive for FC Tulsa's confidence if they're able to sustain this. And as we spoke about early in this game,
Shikaluza, no.
If they get a point out of this game, there's a huge confidence boost for this team.
The shot from well out. Nelson got the left hand on it. Any threat's a good threat. Eric Bird on the receiving end from Dyer, who just played that into an open space. But Chris, Bird is the word. Second goal of the season, and FC Tulsa happy at least for the time being.
Yeah, but Louisville City will be kicking themselves at the result right now with the chance that they've had. It's a bad foul there from Del Piccolo. It's from behind. He's getting none of the ball there.
Not a lot of class delivered there by Del Piccolo.
But now it's all about game management for FC Tulsa. If they start chasing the game and going for the winning goal, they're going to leave themselves wide open to get exploited. Now it's about, can they keep themselves disciplined and organized and try to not concede a goal for the next 12 minutes. If they get out of here with 1 point, they've done exceptionally well given the way this game has gone tonight. For Louisville City, it's been much of the same, creating chances but not being clinical in the final third, not converting, not being ruthless, not having that killer instinct to put this game to bed earlier in this game. Now they find themselves 12 minutes away from full time, 1-1 in a game that they should have ran away with in the first half.
Yeah, no kidding. I echo those sentiments. Lancaster coming in for Ownby. Cameron, he scored 1 goal so far this year. Ownby had plenty of chances in the first 45, seldom in the second half, and Danny Cruz trying to get his team back into high gear.
And we see it so many times when teams miss so many chances like that, it ends up coming to bite them in the face at the end of the game. And this is a similar instance tonight. It's interesting for both teams because they need to pick themselves up and dig deep in the remaining 11 minutes of this game. You're going to get tired bodies. You know, Tulsa have done a lot of running in this game. Louisville City have to go and chase the win in order to keep the pressure on Tampa Bay Rowdies and Charleston above them. But also, the home fans didn't come to see a tie tonight, given the way they play. They couldn't see their team win. And really, with the chances they've created, they should be in the lead.
Well, FC Tulsa and Eric Bird's goal, it's their 5th goal that they have scored in the final 15 minutes of full time. It's the 2nd most in USL Championship this season. One other element that's worked in their favor, they've scored in 8 consecutive matches. So it's not all doom and gloom for FC Tulsa, but as Danny Cruz had mentioned, they are a much better team that just had a rash of bad luck.
Yeah, and as we spoke about earlier, they're 2 points off the playoffs. This point is huge for their momentum and confidence. You know, it's going to allow them to have more belief in themselves. It's going to allow them to take some of that momentum and continue the rest of the season and take small wins at this phase that they've been through. They've got to try and take small wins bit by bit and try and climb themselves out of this pit.
Mushagalusa jammed on the brakes, could not avoid a second defender. Second minute. Fans, make sure you head over to Twitter to vote on tonight's Man of the Match, or Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 5 minutes, give or take. Vote now on Twitter. Just go to twitter.com/LouCity.
Dia deploying the slingshot flowing, almost like a corner kick the way he launches that into the box.
Dyer here on the approach. Dyer, see if he winds up. Good patience here from Dyer at the last second. I'll tell you what, that is a spirited effort, even though that thing was ruled going out.
Good decision there from the linesman. Ball just goes out of play, but for the first time in this game, we've seen players running at this Louisville City back line, getting them backpedaling. You can see it goes to ground. Half a yard early, he delivers that ball. It's a good opportunity to score, but for the first time, we've seen players pick up the ball and drive and actually put this defense under test. We've not seen that so far in this game.
83rd minute.
Referee a little bit slow to make that call with the handball on Mushagalusa.
You think? I think it was good delay for about 5 seconds.
Mushagalusa forgot what is not Mushagalusa. Apologies. Matiti.
We're on the lucky end of what we call a hot microphone down the sidelines. See this attempt here for Harris. Harris has Lancaster wide open net. He can't make the connection. Nothing but a dial tone here, Chris.
This is defined as a game-winning interception. I think it's his studs that he gets on the end of that. Anything less, and it's in the back of the net from Lancaster.
Justin Malou.
Phenomenal interception.
Tell you what, not only was he able to break that thing up, at least in terms of the vision of Lancaster, but I mean, how many times do you see it resulting in an own goal?
We've seen that ball delivered into the box 3 times in this second half.
Yeah.
For strikers just to come onto and tap it into the back of the net, but Malou did phenomenal there to get in front of the defender, but also to do enough to guide it away from goal, because as you said, many times when that level of desperation, we're coming at your own goal with that speed and energy, the ball ends up in the back of your own net, but Malou did ever so well there to guide that one away from target.
Fantastic bid there. But we play on with the match continuing to be tied at 1-1.
Dangerous deliveries from that right side of the field, though, has consistently been Louisville's attack at creating goal-scoring opportunities, and Tulsa haven't been able to shut it down out there. There's just been a lack of killer instinct in the box that's only allowed them to score 1 goal tonight so far.
I mean, you didn't hint at it. You warned us. You pretty much said that at the end of the first half. If Lou City doesn't find a second goal, it can come back and bite them. Watch out here, 3-on-0. Goodrum with a wide open lane. I'll tell you what, Goodrum is a little upset, but the near side official had the flag up.
Yeah, I think Joseph gives it away here as the 2 players are still going to goal. He's walking towards the linesman because the linesman had the flag up, but could see a great run again in behind there from Goodrum. There's some cracks in this Louisville defense that have been exposed a little bit in this final 20 minutes, and it's because the tactics for Tulsa have changed. They're actually putting the ball down on the floor. They're playing. They're getting runs behind it. They're getting runners in behind. They're trying to find through balls, and it's becoming successful. In the opening half, maybe they were a little too fearful. They were trying to play diagonal balls over the top that wasn't having any success. But in the second half, the past 20 minutes, they put the ball down and they've actually tried to play and created good opportunities off the back of it.
Oh, Harris could not muster a shot towards target. Mushagalusa on the chip. That is a sharp angle with a pass to Lancaster. The difficult proposition for Lancaster to even muster any kind of approach towards Michael Nelson. Del Piccolo on the intercept. Mushagalusa. A bit out here. Dia. Ooh, Lancaster nearly had that. Mushagalusa, good spacing. It gets taken down. That's a solid arm. Wow, that went against him. Joseph pumping up the road. The road team looking at that north side, and the fans voicing displeasure as Joseph taunted him a little bit.
Got to be careful there. There's still plenty of time to play in this game. They need to focus on being defensively solid for the remainder of this game. They can't afford to let their concentration slip. There's still chances in this game for both teams, but as I said, if Tulsa can stay strong, stay disciplined, stay organized, and leave here with a point, it's a great result. But there's still a lot of time left in this game. 4 minutes plus additional stoppage time. Game management is going to be key.
We're not there yet, but Chris, it almost feels like FC Tulsa decided to absorb as much pressure from Lou City for 2/3 of the match, and then said, finally, let's turn it.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville City have nobody to blame but themselves in the chances that they've had.
A red card here. Who is this on?
Looks like Coach Blair Gavin has been given a red card here. Seems slightly bemused. Why? Or is it Danny Cruz that's been sent to the stands?
Tell you what, that came out of nowhere. Red card brought to you by World of Beer. Let's see who exactly that was for FC Tulsa. I mean, the officials don't give too much of that chatter consideration. So, you know, something had to have been said that really tipped somebody off. Nelson.
Frantic closing stages to this game.
You're telling me.
Late goals, red cards off the pitch.
What else do we got in the 89th minute? That shot nullified.
And the momentum's definitely swung in favor of FC Tulsa in these closing stages. And I think the substitutions have had a good impact. You see Dyer again here, driving with the ball, making the defenders backpedal, getting him on the back foot. He gets the ball out of his foot and tries to get a shot off. All things that we didn't really see in the first half, that we've only seen in the last 20 minutes in this game for FC Tulsa.
And they haven't been desperate attempts by FC Tulsa. They've just been good build-ups. They've been just much better play.
Yeah.
Joseph, far bar away on the goal line. That second one finds Twine. Always been searching for a goal all season, And Philip Goodrum in the 89th minute, the potential game-winning goal. We have a shocker here at Lynn Family Stadium. Oh my.
And we spoke about if Tulsa could get 1 point away from home, it would be a good result. But it looks like they're going to steal all three, and the fox in the box, Goodrum, is doing what he's done best and gets himself on the score sheet. Great first header, finds himself in great positioning for the second header and just guides it back where it came from. Goalkeeper has no chance of getting to this. Over the defender's head, into the roof of the net, into the top corner. Tulsa stealing 3 points tonight from Louisville City if they can keep this result for the remaining minutes of this game. It shouldn't be too many.
Oh, unbelievable. Jimenez was the first one to make the stop, but Goodrum, 89th minute heroics. I mean, you just said it seconds ago. Late goals, not one, but two for FC Tulsa.
And look, Goodrum gets what he deserves because despite the lack of creating chances for him, he creates his own luck because this guy works so hard.
Oh, Wider trying to equalize, he can't.
Goodrum works so hard that he creates his own luck. You know, he works hard, puts himself in the right position, the ball bounces out to him lucky, he's in the right place at the right time, and we spoke about how clinical he is in the final third. Makes no mistake with a header, puts his team into the lead when they needed it most.
I mean, this is a testament to what you mentioned earlier, Chris. Just, I mean, you've been around the game for so long, but you know when you have an opportunity to put your foot on the throat of the opposition, you need to close that air.
Yep, and we saw the momentum was shifting in the final stage of this game. Tulsa were playing with far more positivity, far more thought in their possession. Players picking up the ball and driving and testing the defense of Louisville City. And we know that Goodrum only needs half a yard, or one opportunity can make you pay, and that's exactly what he's done in today's game. In the opening stage of the second half, he had the shot that rattled off the crossbar, and then good strikers always find a way of being in the right place at the right time. And you wouldn't expect it to fall to anybody else except for Goodrum in that position, and he's not going to make a mistake.
Unbelievable. He had not scored a goal all season. Change of kit, change of city, bang, there's one. Dario Suarez, the bookie. 5 minutes of stoppage time, presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. FC Tulsa trying to snap an 8-game losing skid. Nelson coming out.
And Nelson's been phenomenal tonight also. And if we look a little bit deeper why, he has a legend, MLS legend like Donovan Ricketts as his goalkeeper coach. It's no wonder he's had the performance that he is tonight with that kind of guidance and mentorship and training.
I beg your pardon, I misspoke. Winless in 8 straight, big difference. FC Tulsa right now with one victory under their belt, searching for their second, but right now they're 1-4-6.
And this is that you can see Goodrum. This is where the experience matters. He knows how to kill the clock. He knows how to kill the momentum of the game, slowing things down a little bit longer. And you can see how frustrated it's making the fans and making the Louisville players. They want the ball in play. They want to try and get a goal scoring chance before this 5 minutes of extra time is over. But Goodrum knows the game. He knows how to play. He knows how to kill the extra seconds in the clock. And this is so important. The game management in these closing stages of the game.
They were massive underdogs coming into this contest.
Whoever put the 500 to 1 bet on it is going to leave so happy today.
Unbelievable. Well, there's still time, but Lou City is running out of it. If you're just joining us, Eric Bird, his second goal of the season in the 77th minute. And then Philip Goodrum, his first of the year in the 89th minute.
You know, there's one thing about this FC Tulsa team, they work hard. You know, they despite not having the best build-up and possession throughout the majority of this game, they've worked hard and they've got the results at the end of it. I think there's still work to do as a team, as a unit, and I think that's going to continue to come over time. But you can see there's the opportunity for potential there to be sleeping giants, you know. And the addition of Goodrum, you know, that's a great signing.
Ooh, players colliding right now. Dyer, Dia, exchanging some pleasantries, maybe a Facebook connection here and there.
As it's good and bad. You want to see players that fight. You want to see players that desire. You want to see players have a little bit of pride.
This is working against Lou City right now. these exchanges, while it's early in the season, we're going to capture as many points as possible. And this is chewing up precious seconds.
And this could be the turning point for Tulsa. You know, the late goal, the way they've got this win, fighting spirit. You can see they're not willing to get up on anything. This could be the point in time when this team unifies, really finds momentum and comes together, and it really makes a kick on from here for the remainder of the season.
Yellow cards provided, one of them to Dia.
When it comes to a test of character, I think FC Tulsa have responded very well tonight.
And I got to imagine to a man, if you're a player, Gavin, you want to see how your team takes a shot. You know, they take a few punches, winless in 8 straight, but you come up against one of the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. You absorb a ton of pressure. You're under duress for 2/3 of the match. You get an equalizer and a go-ahead goal. There's Jimenez. Looking for some late heroics. Places this one in. Lancaster trying to settle it. Harris as well. Harris tries to turn this one. Crosses the goal line. That'll result in a 5-5 corner kick for Lou City.
They need to get everybody focused on this set piece. Make sure Mr. Tosh, the goal-scoring defender, is marked tightly.
Dia just outside the 18. Del Piccolo is there. Line drive. Winder the intended target. Dia. Ushagalusa, watch out here. This is trouble, but that bender, not enough pull on it to yank it back towards target and Nelson.
And that has to be time, but I want to highlight the leadership of Goodrum in this game. You know, one of the highlights that Blair Gavin made about him is his relentless work ethic. And last year he was a star in the league. He's come to this team brand new. His work rate, his attitude, his mentality has been standout tonight, and rightfully at the end of the game, he gets the winning goal. So I want to believe he's a huge addition in terms of his goal-scoring output, but his leadership and the impact that he has on the team. One of the most talented players, but he leads from the front of his work rate and his mentality. And I think that's contagious for the rest of the unit.
Well, you bring that kind of leadership into a locker room, and it better rub off quickly, especially when a team is in a position that FC Tulsa was in coming into tonight's affair.
And you can see his tenacity. He's a fighter. He has passion. He doesn't give up. And I think that's been contagious around the team tonight, and they've got the result because of that.
And we have reached full time, and the shocker of the season so far. Winless in 8 straight matches, FC Tulsa makes a change. They bring in Philip Goodrum. His first goal of the season happens in the 89th minute, and it proves to be the game-winning goal. A massive upset here on a Wednesday night. FC Tulsa down 1-0. They equalize and then win it 2-1 as the final.
Yeah, Louisville City will be really kicking themselves for the chances that they didn't capitalize on in this game. But you have to give FC Tulsa credit for the character they showed to come back from a goal behind. Performance that they weren't having the greatest day, but the character they showed to fight and come back. Goodrum leading for the front, exactly what his coach asked of him. They've got themselves 3 points, and that's tremendously positive for them in turning around the momentum.
Big 3 points captured by FC Tulsa. As we take a look now at the man of the match, our Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training man of the match. It's that man right there, Jorge Gonzalez. Gonzalez getting his first goal of the season. It occurred all the way back in the 29th minute.
Probably could have had 2 on the night. Took his very first goal nicely. Second chance, you know, the one that he missed, harder to miss than to score, but he had a decent night for his team.
Gonzalez comes off the pitch. First goal of the season, but unable to secure 3 points for Lou City. So that's going to do it here from Lynn Family Stadium. Fans depart, players getting together. It was a theatrical one. Hope you enjoyed this thing from Lynn Family Stadium. No, we sure did. FC Tulsa triumphant, though, over Lou City. Shocking upset, 2-1 the final.
The fresh timer starts the minute a tomato gets picked. That's why at Kroger, we shorten the time from harvest to home. So no matter how you shop, you'll have more time to enjoy your fresh produce. Kroger, fresh for everyone. When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day and get personalized coupons sent straight to your phone. Save big today when you download the Kroger app. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Well, they say
game time, baby. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm ready. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. 'Cause it's game time. It's game time.
Closing up shop with Chris Nurse and David Gascon. Post-game show presented by Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. The shocker of the young season so far, I might dare to say, Chris. FC Tulsa down 1-0. They return fire and win it 2-1. Let's take a look now at the full-time highlights in this thing, because it was all roses early on for Lou City.
Yeah, Louisville City started the game very bright. Here we see great run in behind here. Reads the run, reads the pass. Defender was sleeping. Good first touch. Buries it into the bottom corner of the goal.
Manny Perez feeding it over to Jorge Gonzalez, our man of the match. His first goal of the year. 47th minute, FC Tulsa, they started to finally wake up.
Yeah, Goodrum here rifling this shot off the crossbar. Unlucky not to see this bounce down into the goal, but that was the threat that set them up for the comeback.
Certainly a prelude to what was going to be happening here in the second half. Lou City didn't play bad, just FC Tulsa got themselves in gear. Dyer, the lucky recipient, just played this into an open area, and there's Eric Berg.
Yeah, ball bounces into the path of Berg, and he makes no mistake, drills this with his left foot into the goal. What a strike with his weak foot.
Oh my goodness. 83rd minute, Lou City thought for a moment, and everybody did in fact, that they'd get the go-ahead goal here.
Harris here delivers a nice ball to the back post for Lancaster, but this is a phenomenal match-winning tackle, we call that from Malou.
And then the 89th minute, Philip Goodrum making his presence felt.
Fox in the box, in the right place at the right time, guides it back where it came from, into the corner of the net, gives his team the winning goal.
If you look at Goodrum right there, he can't hear anybody. It is a library at Lynn Family Stadium. He silences the crowd. 2-1 the final score. FC Tulsa, not one, but 3 large points.
Yeah, this is a tremendous win for FC Tulsa. Will do wonders for their confidence. Boost them up 3 points. Now they find themselves in the playoff positions. Can they kick on from here? That's the question. It's all good doing tonight. Can they repeat this at the weekend and keep making momentum moving forward?
Well, they get rid of DaCosta. They bring in Philip Goodrum, who was searching for his first goal of the season. He had over 20 a year ago. First appearance with his brand new club, and it pays off in large dividends. With all that being said, Lou City will pick up their bags and take their act to Indy 11. They'll play on the 27th on Saturday. Meanwhile, FC Tulsa, they'll go to Monterey Bay FC in a week from now on May the 31st. For my broadcast partner, Chris Nurse, I'm David Gascon saying so long from Lynn Family Stadium. Philip Goodrum, the hero on the night, the game-winning goal in the 89th minute. FC Tulsa wins it 2-1 the final. Have a good night, everyone. So long. Tonight's final score brought to you by Gorski Lofts.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.